Plus, we're able to extend this way of storytelling to a new format, creating series that are connected to our theatrical releases.
Ever since the success of the MCU, there's obviously going to be more TV shows. And now with Disney Plus, there are a lot of MCU shows. So today I'm going to rank them to see how good or how bad they are. So, the first one, also the first one that was released, is Wandavision. Wandavision was the first Disney Plus show, and it comes with high expectation from the fans. And, well, it had a very good start, at least for the first 4 episodes, but the flaw of the show really became very noticeable after that. One thing, if you read any decent Scarlet Witch or Vision comic, the show quickly became boring and predictable. I kinda know where the show is heading, it's mystery, and I think they know the mystery can't keep people interested for a very long time, so they start shoving random plot points that have zero build up, and also a lot of uninteresting side plot about the Sword and the FBI agent. Like, they were fun, but I just want to see the plot moving forward, and the side characters very boring in the later episode. Another thing about the show is, for a show that is supposed to be a sitcom, all the joke in the show is so unfunny, and those scenes are very long for some reason, but again, it's still quite interesting to watch until the finale, or at least the last 2 episodes where everything just goes downhill. So the shows as it go on reveal that Wanda is the thing that caused all the weird shit happens, and she's kind of really bad and messed up, and somehow there's another witch appear and she's the bad guy now, and they fight in the finale, and she somehow redeemed herself when she kidnapped a town of people and everyone is suddenly okay, and just random shit happening, and like it's so rushed in the finale and so anticlimactic the way they ended, and it's like it went from very good and like very engaging to like boring. So I'll give this C. The next show is Falcon and the Winter Soldier. I didn't really catch up to the show until it got trending on Twitter for obvious reason. Yeah, I know I'm a trend chasing normie. Anyway, I go check it out, and it's like quite fun at some part, but mostly really boring. Like, I like the part where they talk more about the post-endgame aftermath and more topic about Americans' racism topic. That's pretty fine, it handled very well, but the actual superhuman flag smasher or something main plot is really bad. They just tell what happened instead of showing anything. Like the flag smasher leader, she's like, you know, I have a very sad backstory and shit, then show us instead of telling, and the fight scene aren't even good. Like, why is Bucky so nerve and so weak? And then you see the finale, which is like some of the cool shit happening, like the new Captain America, and then they ruin everything by this one scene.
Troops will begin relocating people soon. The terrorists only set us back a bit.
You have to stop calling them terrorists. Ask why. You've got to do better, Senator.
Like, who wrote those cringe-ass lines? Like what are you, Disney Channel show? Wait, yeah, it's probably the worst by quality in all of the MCU show on Disney Plus. D. Now, Loki. Loki is probably my favorite Disney Plus MCU show, even though it has quite some problems that I really can't ignore. I'm just really into the time travel multiversal shit, even though it's not a really good one. I don't know, nothing really bothers me in the show, the plot, whole everything. I just really dig it. It's just, yeah, like maybe the love relationship was kind of rushed, and the pacing for the earlier episode is pretty bad. Basically the first 80% of the episode is just talking, explaining. I still find it very interesting, but it's just talking. Then the last 20 minutes of the episode, she's just gone crazy and fast, and that's really my problem. Like, yeah, and that's probably my main problem with the show. I don't know, I really like Loki going through all those time travel, multiverse bullshit. I just wish they focus more on Owen Wilson character Mobius, and this is the only MCU show where the finale is not an epic CGI fight and resolve every problem in the show. Because in this finale, they just talk, but I find it very interesting, and Jonathan Major is a very good actor, and he played the good version of Kang the Conqueror very well. I just find it very interesting, and instead of every problem resolved, things just get even worse like 10 times, which I like. like, and Loki is the new one that have already confirmed season 2, so Loki S. Still, a okay show, not the best. Oh yeah, what if? Almost forget that. After Loki, Marvel started the Marvel Multiverse shit, and What If is kind of the follow-up to it. And it's pretty fun, but not all of them are good. A lot of them are pretty boring. What If is a very good way to explore some darker story, which Marvel did but never fully committed, like the Doctor Strange episode, Marvel Zombie, and the episode where all the Avengers get killed and die. It explored a lot of interesting and dark ideas that the novel MCU would never explore, but it reverted back to the basic Marvel formula again, especially the last 2 episodes, probably the worst. Somehow there's another team up, not CGI, like big fight for the bad guy, and after defeating the bad guy, every problem, every issue in the show for every character just somehow get resolved and solved. Yeah, What If is fun, but the last 2 episodes is so predictable, and like it should just be its own thing, exploring different ideas every episode instead of connecting them all together. Yeah, it's fun, but can be much more, so B for the show. Next show, Hawkeye. Hawkeye has a very interesting start, exploring how Endgame changed the world, quite similar to Falcon and the Winter Soldier, and how it changed Clint. He and Hawk is the only OG Avenger left, and with the others dead, 2-0 away or become a crazy rich. But again, it became very boring in the end, and it kind of followed the same formula with other Disney Plus MCU show. I really like Kingpin appear. Daredevil is one of my favorite shows, but he isn't doing anything to the story and just brought back for the hype and fan service. And just that, I'm just getting very tired with the fan service and the hype, and just there's not much to say about Hawkeye. It's just an okay show, not much different, not much special, nothing impressive, just okay. And that's really sad because Hawkeye has a lot of potential to explore the character because he doesn't have his own movie. All the character is pretty cool, but the story is just so shit and boring, and I just want to sleep. So see, nothing much to say. Yeah. The last show that I'm going to rank is Moon Knight. Honestly, it's even sad to talk about this because it has so much potential, especially pilot episode is so good and the result is so underwhelming. It has such a good first episode with a bit of thriller, mystery, and maybe a bit horror. Then it just went downhill. Before the show released, they promised a more serious, violent, deep tone and a very different experience from the usual MCU. And the result is half of the show is still the predictable MCU show and it's boring. Episode 2, 3, 4 is the worst. They have some cool elements like a bit of horror, but they play it so safe and the script is so messy and everything just felt very random, and there's so many good ideas and they never want to commit to it. It results in a very Frankenstein monster that doesn't have any identity. And the show is called Moon Knight, and the Moon Knight doesn't appear that much. Even if the Moon Knight appear, the fights are at best entertaining but mostly shit, and constantly people randomly appear in the scene out of nowhere and just like random things, and like why? Honestly, the last 2 episodes is the one that saved the show, especially episode 5. It explores Steven and Mark's character, and Oscar Isaac is such a good actor. And it's sad because how good that episode is, and the rest of it is so rushed and meaningless. The 6 episode run for most MCU show really hurt the quality of the content. Most show is rushed, and this show is even worse. Again, the finale, big fight, all of the problem resolved. They even have a big kaiju fight, and like it's not fun. I'm bored. Oscar Isaac is amazing, but that's not much he can do with such a messy story. And like they shove a very important reveal in the mid-credit scene, revealing Jake as the third personality. Like why Marvel? Why put such an important reveal in the credit scene and give us such a formulaic finale? Moon Knight B. And I know even if I complain a lot, this show is still better than most MCU show, which is really sad. And in the end, Disney Plus MCU show just went from very promising, very hype, to now everyone wants shitting on it, and most of it is very mediocre. It's just so sad because it can explore what the movie can't explore, could be a lot better, there can be even more. But now there's even more Disney Plus MCU show, and the latest Miss Marvel is pretty interesting. But again, Marvel played really safe. It's fun and all, but still, Marvel still played safe. Well, anyway, bye.